Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show today, episode 244. It is Friday, October 16th. I am Kellen. With me is Tim. What's up, Tim? Say hi, please.
Hey guys, how's it going? Happy to be here. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
Thanks for hanging in there if you're watching live. YouTube, love. What a platform. What a platform. Anyways, after a little bit of issue there, we're back. So thanks for hanging out if you're live and in the chat. And if you can see us, give us, like a thumbs up or something, because last time we talked for like 15 minutes and you guys couldn't see us. So anyways, big show. There was a lot going on this week. I'm trying to regain here. Regain.
Yeah. I mean, we have already had, basically we did the whole show. Now we're just doing it again.
We really did. We really did go through like an entire 15 minutes of talking to absolutely no. Anyways, so it was a big week. I don't know what happened Monday. We were just doing stuff preparing for later in the week, because later in the week, well, Apple had its announcement, which was, fun. They announced 16 iPhone 12 models. But we're not here to talk about Apple and, the iPhone 12. We're here to talk about what happened Wednesday. So Wednesday, embargoes lifted on Pixel units. So I have a Pixel 5. Tim has a Pixel 4a 5G. We could finally talk about them. We've had them for about a week-ish, but we could talk about them Wednesday morning. So we did that a little bit. But also this happened, though. Wednesday morning was the OnePlus 8T announcement. I've also had this for a while. That review dropped. We haven't done the Pixel 5 and 4a reviews yet, but the 8T review's done. And then Tim also has something special. He has something special.
Pa-ching.
There it is. The swivelly LG wing is in the building. So this show is really just to talk about some devices. There might be other news, and my brain this week is just so fried from the review stuff, the device announcements. It was Amazon Prime Day week. We had a couple days of that, which is always absurd. It's been a hell of a week. And then to top it off, we just spent 20 minutes talking and you guys couldn't see us. So again, we're regaining and we're going to talk devices today. Pixel 5, Pixel 4a 5G, OnePlus 8T. Tim will talk about the wing a little bit. And then we'll try to do trivia. We are on a bit of a time crunch. We're going to get to it, though. We're going to get to the damn trivia. So at the end of every show, if you're new around here, we do trivia. We give free stuff to people who just hang out with us and then answer some questions at the end of the show. We have 5 questions as always, 5 prizes for 5 winners, $10 Google Play credit to everyone who wins. It should be good. So stick around after the device talk.
And then just so we don't forget, in our last episode, well, the one that we did 10 minutes ago, we had a couple of donations. I want to get to those. Sarah Washington said she was going to be able to watch us live. Hopefully that's still the case. Donated $3. Thank you very much. I wrote them down. And then Scott R. With a $10 donation was saying that maybe if he donated money, we would hurry up. But what he didn't know was that we were live and talking to ourselves. So thank you guys for the donations.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry that we couldn't all talk about those live the first time around as you were doing those.
Apologies.
And a couple more. Sergey just dropped $1.50 Canadian.
Nice.
Popcorn sticker emoji there. Love to see that. And Mystical Melissa, $5 says you guys are the best. Heart.
Oh,
thank you, both of you, for the donos. Thank you.
Oh, Sarah says it's still the case. Let's go. Hype train.
A couple people asking what the earbuds are, noticing that they look thick. Yes, these are the OnePlus buds. Still rocking the OnePlus buds during the show, and they are. I mean, they hang out. They point in weird directions and stuff. It might be about the last time I wear them. The thing is, I was trying to do the Pixel buds, and if you guys missed the show a few weeks ago, one of them just died mid-show, drained in an hour, which is absurd. So I haven't gone back to those, and I just haven't rocked the over ears. Maybe I'll just have to go back to over anyway. Yeah, these are. I mean, I wouldn't walk around in public in these very often, but
you don't walk around in public at all. So.
I don't go in public. No,
it's hard being an influencer.
Sergey's dropped another $2. Says you guys are all good. Thanks, Sergey.
Okay, oh man, yeah. Bircher says there's something about Mary that. I won't say it looks that bad, but it's close to looking like that.
It is kind of, right? We're close.
Is that hair gel? I could use some of that. What a disgusting movie.
Yeah.
Ugh,
What a great
so
movie, though.
inappropriate. Andy
Andy,
with the I'm sorry, go for it.
$2 says, Tim, where is Trump? Yeah, the cutout. It's
He's
just,
back at the White House or wherever recovering after his case of COVID, man.
yeah. Hopefully those
Prayers
lungs
up
are
to
okay, buddy.
POTUS.
Put a mask on. Yeah.
Should have worn a mask.
All right, let's get into this.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Pixels. Pixel 5, Pixel 4a 5G. Again, the price breakdown there. Pixel 4a 5G is a $499 phone. Verizon also happens to sell their own version for $599 because their dumb 5G millimeter wave costs extra money. They also happen to sell a white one. The unlocked model, which Tim has at $499, only comes in black. Then the Pixel 5 comes in black or this Baby Yoda, and it costs $699. It probably would be cheaper than that, but Verizon and Google put 5G millimeter wave antennas in here, and so it costs $699, which is probably $100 or $50 too much. So those are the pricing breakdowns. Let's see. Oh, our reviews. I'm trying to think of all the stuff we talked about when you guys couldn't see us. So our reviews, they aren't up yet. Couple of reasons. The Pixel 4a 5G doesn't launch in the US until like November 19th or something. So we haven't found a huge rush there to get that one out. Tim's spending his time with it. The Pixel 5, I got mine a few days later than I expected, and so I didn't want to rush a review, and I was reviewing the AT at the same time. So, I want to give both of those phones the time they deserve. And the Pixel 5 in the US also doesn't launch until the end of October. It launches across the globe in the 4 countries Google sells it in the 15th. That's why that was the embargo. But in the US, it's not until the end of the month. So Pixel 5 will be up soon, though, probably in the next several days or something like that. So we should probably start cameras, I'm thinking. So cameras, both phones have the exact same camera setups, 12 megapixel main sensor, 16 megapixel wide angle. They both run the same processor, so the image processing and stuff should all basically be the same. So no matter which phone you buy, $200 price difference, it should have the exact same camera. You should be able to take the same photos. So we posted a sort of large thread of photos that we've both taken here in the Great Portland area. Similar weather, so you can kind of see that they can take very, very similar pictures. I think my takeaway, I should mention that last year we had the same 12 megapixel camera. In fact, we've had the same 12 megapixel main camera for several versions of Pixel phones. It is the exact same camera module and everything that we've used, I think, since the Pixel 2. So that hasn't changed. And then they slapped in the 16 megapixel wide angle. Last year we had a telephoto. This year we got wide angle. Anyways, after looking at the photos that I took, and in particular, I took mine next to the 8T. I went on a photo shoot with them, and I was taking the same pictures with the 8T everywhere I went, using its wide angle and standard versus the Pixels. And then you walked around, obviously, and did a photo shoot with the 4a 5G. I guess my sort of thought with the Pixel 5 pictures and the camera is that it's still Google's pictures. They're still contrasty. They still have that eye appeal. Google's processing, they clearly have figured out what looks good to your eye when on a phone. It has a little bit of this extra contrast and maybe bring up some shadows a little bit. They do a good job of just kind of hitting what looks really good to your eye rather than going for the 100% cleanest, natural, raw looking photo. They kind of do some tricks to play to your eye, I feel like. And these photos still look like that. I think where I'm at now, though, is they just haven't advanced at all. A couple years ago, we went, oh man, the Pixel camera is so far ahead of everyone. It's so good. And everyone's been trying to catch up. And I still think in some cases, Google, particularly at night, low light, the night side, Google's is still the best, I think. But just day-to-day pictures, this phone takes good pictures. I just don't know that we've advanced at all. And I kind of go, yeah, it takes good pictures. And I would, rely on it still like I have all Pixel phones. But if I go, which phone do I want to leave the house with? It used to just be, well, I'm probably going to take the Pixel. Now I'm like, well, all my phones take good pictures because that's what it is in 20. The S20 does, the Fold 2 does, The Pixel 5 does. The 4A, the regular one without the wide angle, takes the same pictures, it's the same damn camera. This 8T takes really good photos. So yeah, it's a good camera, but it's not like the best camera. Like, what are your thoughts on the 4A 5G?
Well, my thoughts is that it's a Pixel camera, and there's not much. Sure, they may not be advancing, but I mean, the experience is still really good. It's still one of the better ones. Yes, all your recent 2020 flagship devices take good pictures, but I would still, put the Pixel's pictures maybe even above those in terms of just realism, I guess. Samsung phones still have a tendency to either overexpose sometimes or oversaturate certain colors, whereas Pixels, I mean, they seem closest to real life to my eye. And so I still value that quite a bit. And even though they may not be, doing experimental crap, but that's what I like, like they're just kind of sticking with what works. They're not don't fix what ain't broke. And we'll see maybe if that changes. They did, of course, add the wide angle lens. Now, my personal preference is a wide angle versus the telephoto. I know some people would say different. Some people wish they would have added all the different kind of sensors and lenses and all that stuff. But, I mean, they had to stick to two. I'm fine with the two. I'm fine with the ultra wide. I mean, telephoto, it just tends to screw things up anyway. It doesn't even look all that good sometimes. Well,
like, look at this thing. This thing has 4 cameras. 2 of them are usable. Like, it has a main and a wide, and then they threw in a 5 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel monochrome. Like, what the hell are you going to use a 5 megapixel and 2 meg? Like, those are just a waste. They're just there to say we have 4 cameras. So yeah, again, I'm fine with there being 2 in the Pixel.
Yeah, and then also to say that they haven't advanced. I mean, the thing that I feel like we got to keep remembering is that Google advanced the whole picture taking thing still beyond anyone can either catch up to or feels like catching up to. Some companies are trying to imitate night sight, but no one, I don't think, has come close in terms of the quality of photos that you can take with the Pixel camera at night with, say, a tripod is insane. Like, you can go out there and do some legit astrophotography, and you simply can't do it on a Samsung device because I think the exposure time is still limited to 30 seconds. So they haven't put in that time, I think, to kind of keep up with that. Maybe Google is just thinking people really like stars and Samsung doesn't think it's all that necessary. But if a Samsung phone had an astrophotography mode, I'd be all over it, but it simply doesn't. So until I'm sick of looking at the stars, I'll just stick with my Pixel camera. And it'll be my favorite. So there.
Yeah, I guess there's something to be said for, don't try to change a formula that's working. I guess I don't know. I feel like and I'm not just saying that Google needs to change their camera system just to do something new. I guess I just look at the photos now, and while they're still good, and maybe it's just because I feel like everyone is caught up that everyone's photos look good. Where I used to look at the Pixel photos and go, well, these are just better than everyone else's. Sure. And so, and I guess maybe my mind is now going, well, Google's aren't just better than everyone else's anymore, so they need to do something different. And maybe that's just the wrong thought to have. Maybe I shouldn't be looking at them going, well, yeah, you guys, you're not the best anymore, so do something. And maybe I should just go, well, you do really good, and everyone caught up, and now everyone's really good, so maybe that's fine. And so maybe I've sort of backed myself into that corner of going, you need to make something new just for the sake of I don't know. I guess there used to be this, wow, this is crazy. And now I just kind of go, okay, it's the same experience. So I don't know. Maybe I need to rethink where my expectations need to be set. I think, and maybe part of that is because I did take a bunch of photos right next to the OnePlus 8T, and OnePlus, right, his camera history is not great. Nope. And to see the outdoor pictures I took look almost identical.
Sure.
I think that probably takes away. But then again, when you go indoors,
there's a big difference.
There's a huge difference. I mean, so I took, if you guys haven't seen the 8T review and then our photo post, you'll see a bunch of the pictures happen to be the same because I took them side by side with the 8T and Pixel 5. And one photo in particular is my son has a bunch of like Mario stuffed animals, and they were in a chair, and I was like, well, this is kind of a challenging shot. The lighting's not great, and animals have fur. And so you always kind of go, can this camera process that fur, and also in sort of a challenging lighting situation? Pixel 5, they look like furry stuffed animals. The OnePlus 8T, they just look mushy. Like it didn't capture their fur at all. And so those are obviously some of the things. So indoors, the Pixel just is miles ahead of, well, OnePlus for sure. With Samsung, I don't know. With iPhones, I don't know. They've probably caught up some there. But so Google definitely still has some advantages. So I guess I said I don't want to be just critical to be critical. I think Google was so far ahead of everyone that I'm kind of waiting for them to go, all right, we were really far ahead. Here's what's next. And we're going to jump again. And maybe they just can't. I don't know. And their photo guru guy left. So maybe they are just stuck here with a
not photo
5-year-old
guy
sensor. So yeah. I guess, what are we saying? The cameras are fine. They're good. They're still good.
Right. Yeah. I like the cameras. I don't think they're bad at all. I still prefer the Pixel camera experience versus all others. So there's
I guess also when I was talking about like you decide which phone you're taking out for the day, because that's just what we do as working in this industry where we have phones to grab. I would still take the Pixel 5 camera probably more than most other cameras. Where it used to be no matter what, like if I was taking a trip, I'd be like, all right, I need a Pixel phone with me. Now, if I had a Samsung phone, I would be fine with that. Whereas before, I used to always reach for the Pixel. Right now, I would still probably take it over the AT, but I would still feel fine. So I guess that's just good that everyone's finally catching up.
Yeah. Apologies. I should think more about some people who live in metro areas such as New York City. Maybe they don't get to see stars. So apologies. But here in the Pacific Northwest, I can see the stars at night. And it's great. You can't, you said?
No, I can't. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I can take some night sight astrophotography shots like in my driveway. I live in Southwest Portland, so obviously there's not going to be a lot of lights around. Like we're not in downtown Portland.
No, exactly. So apologies to all those who can't take pictures of the stars. You're really missing out on some cool stuff. There's like these little lights in the sky and they twinkle. It's pretty sweet.
All right. So cameras aside, we also tossed up a battery life post because we've had several days to test battery.
Battery's
I would say,
good, man.
Yeah. I mean, really, I would say really good.
Yeah.
Pixel phones in the past have not had good battery life. I couldn't tell you a Pixel phone where I went, this has really good battery life. Like the 2XL, I think was okay.
Sure.
If I remember correctly. Yeah. But the Pixel 3, I had the small Pixel 3. It did not have good battery life. I don't really remember the 3XL. Pixel 4, obviously the smaller Pixel 4 had one of the worst battery situations I've seen in years. The Pixel 4 XL, not excellent battery life by any means. These phones, battery life is really, really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, the Pixel 5 has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is the biggest Google's ever used. That doesn't match anyone else's, by the way. Like this 8T has 4,500 milliamp, right? But 4,000 is big for Google. And this Pixel 5, I'm getting 6 hours of screen on time because I've been trying to just hammer on it. Like that's a lot of use for me in a day, but it's 6 hours and I'm going to bed 20%. That's nuts. I think that's nuts. 90 hertz refresh. I know it's only 1080p, and you're seeing what looks like similar.
I'm seeing like 5. Yesterday I got 6+ hours and I still went to bed with like over 20% of battery life. Like this thing, it's only getting better. I mean, this isn't even its final form, dude. I mean, it's evolving and it's getting
And neither
better.
of us are using the extreme battery saver that Google put in.
I've never ever touched one of those things in my life. So no.
Yeah. And I just pulled out of the box and used it.
Yeah. Someone's talking about millimeter wave. Like, man, the battery life was my biggest worry with 5G, even with millimeter wave. So neither Kellen or I live in an area that has millimeter wave. You aren't by millimeter wave, right?
Sorry, these shitty headphones just cut out. I didn't hear what you said right there.
Millimeter wave, we don't have it.
Just cut out again.
Oh my God.
I'm going to just like quit today.
Well, how about you like use some actual wired headphones and stop trying to be cool with your little Bluetooth?
Because the computer is like under this desk that I podcast from, and I'd have to buy like a long extension ass headphone wire, and it's just like
Amazon.
I just want to like give up. Anyways,
that's fine. It's Friday. So
millimeter wave, we do not have it here. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, we don't have it here, so Tim and I have not tested with millimeter wave. The thing I would say there is if you do live in a market with millimeter wave, you're probably not going to be on it constantly anyway, because the reach of it is so awful that it's really hard to get that connection. I mean, unless you live in a city, in a condo downtown on a block that has a tower, I don't think you're going to be on it enough to even have it be a factor in your battery life. The phones do support 5G, mid and low band also. And, you know, a couple of like T-Mobile has low, a little bit of mid band in places. AT&T has low, and Verizon just claims they turned on their low this week. But those connections aren't going to affect battery life because they're just basically, like in Verizon's case, they're just like reusing LTE spectrum. And so so what I'm saying is millimeter wave, I don't know how much that would affect battery life. Like if you were on millimeter wave streaming something for an hour, number one, you'd probably melt your phone. And yes, it would probably run through battery life, but you're never going to be on that. So I don't know. And we don't have any here, and Portland probably never will. So.
Right. Kylo Tech is asking if you can turn off 5G. Yes, you can turn off 5G and set it to just connect to LTE.
Yeah.
So the
other day I was driving around and I watched as the logo on my Pixel 5 flipped. I'm running it on Verizon right now. It flipped to 5G, and you just kind of go, come on, dude. This is marketing. This is not like really 5G. Like it's just a logo flip. And it was like, it basically took a step. It's really funny, actually. I looked at the Verizon map of where their low band 5G is, which they launched this week. And my driveway of my house is the cutoff of where it flips the logo from LTE to 5G. Like I can walk down my driveway and up the street a little bit, and it should flip to 5G. And it's probably the same terrible speeds that I get at my house. That's what it is. Verizon has nationwide 5G. Woo! Woo!
Congratulations, Verizon, on your nationwide rollout of an icon. Congratulations.
Yeah. So again, we have reviews coming. In general, right now, do you like the Pixel 4a 5G? Like your thought, you spent a week with it, and you were coming from a bunch of different other phones and the Fold 2, you know, and you have a Pixel 5 coming. So, but
I can give you guys the spoiler for like what my review was going to. Like the headline basically reads Pixel 4a 5G review, excellent phone, but missing a few creature comforts. So at the price, and you know, considering the Pixel 5 isn't all too much more expensive, you are getting a few things for that money, and they're like tangible things. You know, you're getting the higher refresh rate with the Pixel 5, you're getting an IP rating with the Pixel 5, so, and you know, the 8 gigs of RAM, which is nice. There's just a couple of things that I think would make the experience overall better. There's wireless charging for the Pixel 5, not for the Pixel 4a 5G. And from what I can tell, wireless charging is the biggest deal breaker, you know, of all time. So if you like those creature comforts, and I do, the 90 hertz and the IP rating is huge, man, because I want to take the phone out, and especially it's getting to that wet and windy weather here in the Pacific Northwest. I can't go walking the dogs and take my phone out and get it wet. Like I don't want to take that chance. So, you know, that stuff is big for me. So creature comforts, that's the thing. There's no creature comforts. Great phone, really good phone, excellent phone according to my headline, but it's missing some things. So,
which you kind of expect at the price. So, right?
Yeah, but no, I don't. See, that's the thing. Like OnePlus Nord is coming. OnePlus Nord's got everything. Like the OnePlus 8T. I mean, it depends on how much you want to spend, right? Like if we're talking sub 500, there's not a ton of options, but there are options. So people need to be aware of what this phone is missing versus those other devices. And I'll lay all that out in the review. You can expect that up next week.
Sweet. As far as the Pixel 5, it's a decent phone. I don't have a bunch of major complaints with it. And like Tim said, I'll lay this all out in a review as well. The camera's solid. The battery life is excellent, which I like. You know, the performance of it after using the 8T. So the 8T runs a Snapdragon 865 and has a 120 hertz refresh rate display. I can tell using the two side by side, the 8T performs better. It's smoother. The screen's better. Those sorts of things. And so the AT is only $50 more, right? So I kind of like, it's been a weird comparison to have the two side by side, because the AT is on almost any level a far superior phone than Google's Pixel. But there's some things I appreciate about Pixel phones. The software experience I like. I just like Google's style to software. And OnePlus is basically turned into Samsung. So there's a pretty dramatic difference there. There didn't used to be. There is now. But like there's this little stutters here and there in the UI on the Pixel 5 that I don't see on the AT. I don't see on any of my Samsung phones. So it's like Google is like it's their operating system. They don't quite optimize it perfectly. They took away some things I like the squeezy sides. Like their fast charging isn't fast at all. 18-watt fast charging on Pixel phones feels like 8-watt charging. It's not fast at all. And the AT charges in like 30 minutes fully. So the Pixel 5 is a good phone. I wish it was $100 cheaper, and it should have been, but they put stupid millimeter wave in it. I'll go into a lot of this more. I will just say I wanted to really love the phone. It has this cool green color. The size of it is so great because it's tiny, but it has a 6-inch display. Most of it, it's metal. It's not all glass. I'm a big fan of that. But I don't love it. It'll probably be a phone that's fairly easy to recommend to people that don't care about specs and all that stuff. But for me, I still don't know if I'm going to use it a lot after I'm done with this. I'm certainly going to use the Fold 2. And then maybe one day we'll get out of, a pandemic, and then I'll leave the house more. And I'm like, is it the phone I want to take with me? Maybe.
I still also think we need to just be aware of the update situation. There's something going on with OnePlus, and I don't know, maybe if it was affected by the pandemic, but so they've got their Oxygen OS 11 rolling out to the OnePlus 8 series, but then they've said not coming to the OnePlus 7 series until next year, which is a serious departure from the time frame we got last year where Android 10 came, and then I think they started rolling out the update in November. So
I think they might have just corrected that. Like I feel, really? Yeah, it's the week's been so damn busy that I think they told somebody that it's happening in December. I think they tried to fix it, and I think because they got some backlash for it. So I think they tried to
they pushed it up to December. You're right. Well, that's still a long time. Yeah. But well, at least that's good. All right, well then I take it back. I guess buy the OnePlus phone. Whatever. I'm a little disappointed that you're not like in love with the Pixel 5, and my hope is that maybe Google can like update the phone to maybe make the performance a bit smoother or something. Like maybe there's something they can do. So, hey.
I think the problem is I've just used all these other phones this year that are excellent, that have 100, and it's not necessarily the 120 hertz versus 90 hertz, but the performance on all these other phones. So I complained when I reviewed the Pixel 4a, the smaller, regular, non-5G one. I complained about the UI being kind of crappy and jittery and skippy. And a bunch of people went, "What are you talking about? This is the best phone ever," and blah, blah, blah. And you don't know what you're talking about. And I see the same things in the Pixel 5. There's just these little skips and hiccups. And every once in a while, just something is a little bit slower than I've expected on every other phone I've used this year. And I guess you could say maybe it's the Snapdragon 765. With the Pixel 4a, it could have been the 630 processor or whatever, maybe. This has a 765. I've used other 765 phones. They run better than this. The OnePlus Nord is a smoother phone. Same processor, 90 hertz display, is a smoother phone than the Pixel 5. So
maybe it's Google's Pixel experience or whatever slowing something down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Google just needs to optimize their version of Android better. And there's no excuse for them not to do that. It's Google's damn operating system. So I like the Pixel 5. By no means is this even close to the best Pixel phone ever released or anything like that. It's just like we're in this middle year where there's a pandemic and they've adjusted and all that stuff. And I don't know what the future means for Pixel phones. The Pixel 5 is just an okay phone. It's not a bad phone. It's just not even close to being the best phone available on the market. It's kind of where I sit with it. Like it's fine. And I think if people buy it, they probably will like it. And the battery life being so good, I really am excited about. Other than that, it's just kind of a normal ass phone.
But it comes in the Baby Yoda color,
Right?
right?
The green is cool. Although
oh my god, look how small
OnePlus's
that thing
green
is.
though, OnePlus's green is kind of cooler. Although it doesn't
Do you have
look like Baby Yoda.
another phone like on that desk that would maybe give me a better idea like how big it is?
I don't. Like a black phone.
Look how small it is, man.
It is actually really tiny. I mean, you can reach across with your thumb. Look at that. You can reach across.
Reach across.
Like all the way across. Like how many phones? Well, you know, like here's an AT, right? And I can get across it, but you know, like on some giant ass phones, you have to like really stretch, right? Well, that phone's pretty small too. But this phone, you can do that like with no problem. Like, look, we're touching fingers. We're overlapping fingers here. That's how small this thing is. You know what I'm saying?
Touching the tip of my other finger. Can't do that on the wing though, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, is that enough pixel talk for like? I mean, we
had AT review now.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll write up the pixel stuff. We'll definitely have more detail. So the other phone this week is this one, which I've sort of just talked about a little bit, the OnePlus AT. This phone, so $750. It's fairly specced out, 865, not 865 plus, but who cares? If someone ever complains to you about it not a new phone not having an 865 plus and just the 865, slap them. Just slap them. The 865 plus offers nothing different other than they overclocked it slightly in a way you will probably never know. Like they could have just lied and said it was 865 plus and everyone would have been like, okay, cool. Like you just slap.
12 Droid Life does not condone violence.
This is true. 12 gig RAM, 256 gig storage in the US. There is an 8 gig, 128 gig model in other countries, and it's cheaper. I don't know why OnePlus didn't bring it here, but this one is 12 gig, 256, $750, 865 processor, 4,500 milliamp hour battery with absolutely absurd 65 watt charging. I wrote this up in the review, but I was at 7% on the day I was reviewing it and was like, all right, let's time it. Slapped it on the charger. It took 40 minutes flat to go from 7% to 100. Like a Pixel 5 at 75% to 100 probably takes 45 minutes. Yeah, right? This thing went from 7 to 100 in 40 minutes. And I think they're saying it takes 38 minutes. I didn't get 38 minutes. I got 40, which still was impressive as hell. So the software is OnePlus Oxygen OS 11 and Android 11. It's their new skin. And yes, it looks like Samsung. And that's kind of annoying. But we have an always on display. Like OnePlus, it's weird how what seems like such a small feature that we've taken for granted on all these other phones can make such a huge difference. When I've reviewed OnePlus phones in the past, I never stick with them after a review, even though I like them. I never stick with them after because this is one of the most important features to me, and that's always on display. I can't live without this. I don't want to have to touch my phone all the time to check the time and all of that. So we have that now, and theirs is pretty cool. Performance on this thing is just so good. OnePlus, everything is just snappy, smooth. The touch responsiveness on this is just incredible. The battery life, solid. It's probably not as good, I don't think, as the Pixel 5, which is surprising a little bit, but it's still really good. You're full day. It doesn't have wireless charging, but when you have 65 watt fast charging, like really, who cares? The camera. So I talked about this a little bit in just that comparison we did. The camera is really good in daylight, outdoors, all that. It's really, really good. You could take pictures that are just as good as Google's Pixels. The only issue is if you go indoors at night, it's just not going to match Google. Obviously, Google's processing is just that much better than OnePlus. And it's been that way forever. I think the OnePlus 8 Pro is the only one that's sort of come close. The OnePlus 8 Pro has a camera that is probably better than Google's. This phone is more along the lines of the regular OnePlus 8, Nord. It's the same exact camera sensor, the main sensor. So this phone, I mean, I would tell a lot of people to buy this phone because it just does everything really, really good. If there's hangups there, it's only unlocked in the US, not on Verizon, it's not on AT&T. T-Mobile has weirdly the 8T plus 5G. They have their own version, and their version has IP68 water and dust resistance. This unlocked model doesn't, which I don't. And I think it's the same price. I have no idea what the hell OnePlus is doing. But I would say, like, yeah, this phone's dope. You should probably buy it if you're in the market and have $750. That said, I know everyone is obsessed with the Galaxy S20 FE, the old fan edition, and it is $50 cheaper, and it has less storage and less RAM, but it has wireless charging, I think, and it's Samsung, and people seem to really love it. Tim, I feel like we should get an S20 FE in the house because everyone seems to. It's like the phone that everyone defaults to now. Well, the S20 FE has that. It's better than that. It's the new phone that I'm already annoyed by. Maybe I just need to get one in house so I can stop being annoyed by it.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I guess where I sort of wrap up with the 8T is I think it's OnePlus's best phone because the price is great for what you're getting. If we take the S20 FE out of the equation, it's just the performance and display and design. It's almost a one-handed device. It's a lot bigger than the Pixel 5, but it's just really good. I like it a lot. That's it. I like it a lot. I like the 8T a lot.
The S20, so two phones that don't interest me this year whatsoever, S20 FE and the 8T. Yeah. For some reason, I'm just like not even like as a consumer, I just like wouldn't even consider them. And I don't know why. That's really weird because they both seem like good phones, but neither really sparked my interest.
I think why is because they're not really different than all of the other phones. Like that's all possible. The phones are kind of just the same. Like if you look at this phone, compare it to, well, you reviewed the OnePlus 8. The difference is the design of the back a little bit, the camera housing. Sure. It has 120 versus 90 hertz.
That's nice.
But that's it. It has the same camera module, the same processor. You know, the OnePlus 8 will get updated to Oxygen OS 11. Or it already has. Sorry, it already has been. So there's, and so we keep getting these new phones and they're just not a lot different. I think where Samsung wowed everyone a little bit was the S20 FE had specs that match this pretty closely anyway. Not quite, but closely. And they were like, and it's only $699, which is the same price Google is selling this at, which doesn't come close to matching either in specs. So we're like peak smartphone, but kind of, which I think is why
reached a plateau.
Well, for sure. And I think that's why you and I like the Fold 2 so much, because as two people who do this every day for a living, test new phone after new phone, it's different. And so we like the fact that there's just something different to play with. So, you know, it's kind of it. I think the 8T, everyone is just going to overlook it and no one is going to buy it. And I don't want to say it's going to be a disaster for OnePlus, but I feel like no one's going to care. And the fact that their launch was on Amazon Prime Day week, on the day after the iPhone 12 and the day Google's Pixel embargo launched, like I think the 8T, they should have done it a week earlier or a week later, because I think where they launched it was just not a good spot. But it's a really good phone, and I think people who buy it will really like it. But I just think it's going to unfortunately be forgotten. Like,
yeah, I think
because of what you just said.
Yeah, well, the marketing definitely isn't there, I would say. At least, I mean, just looking at our sort of engagement on things, like the Pixel 5 unboxing has like 100 times the views than the OnePlus 8T. There just seems to be no real hype for the 8T.
There hasn't been.
So.
I don't know why that is. Maybe everyone's tired of OnePlus's way of marketing, which is slowly tease things for like 3 weeks leading up to an announcement and then announce it. Maybe that's just sort of run its course, that style of marketing, and no one really cares anymore. I don't know. I feel like it's been a rough year or so for OnePlus. I think the Nord has been successful because that was something new, right? It was new, right. It was cheap. And I think they keep talking about how they're selling lots of those. I don't really feel like they're talking much about the 8 and 8 Pro anymore. And I know the AT is their new phone that they're going to sell for the rest of this year. But again, as good as it is, I'm with you on that. I don't feel like it doesn't have that hype. It doesn't have that story. It's just another good OnePlus phone. And it's not cheap, so no one cares, right? Like if this phone was $600, we might be having a different conversation. Anyway, that's the OnePlus AT. Full review of the site. Go read it if you want.
Yeah, go read it.
Do you want to talk about LG Wing for a couple minutes before we dive into some trivia?
I guess I haven't even been able to use it because LG sent me a Verizon unit and it won't connect to the network. So that's cool. And I'll be damned if I'm going to call Verizon customer service myself to fix LG's problem. Shout out to LG. Thank you for the unit. So no, beyond that, all kidding aside, I've got the LG Wing here. There's an unboxing up on the site. Even that has more views than the OnePlus AT.
It does, yeah.
So we'll likely never talk about the AT ever again. 6.88 inch OLED, 60 hertz panel on the outside here. $1,000 phone. Just a reminder. Yeah. And then, so the cool thing about the LG Wing is that this is the world's first 5G swivel smartphone. And in my unboxing, that should be the one point that really got across to you, is that this is the world's first. Now, so when you swivel, make sure it's in frame. It goes into this T pattern, T for Tim. They actually told me, they confirmed to me that T does stand for Tim. So that's nice. And it shows you a 3.9 inch, I believe, another OLED panel. Very nice. Basically a 1:1 aspect ratio. Nice little square there. And people are like, what's the point? Like, what can you do? Well, I'll show you.
Tell us, Tim.
It's actually quite cool. So, not now. So let's say you've got the Droid Life Show going on. You got the Droid Life Show going up here, and you want to be able to be up in the chats or whatever. You want to control playback of your YouTube video.
What's buffering?
Yeah, it's buffering. I don't know why. Maybe because it's trying to connect to the LTE network and it won't because it's Verizon. I don't know. Anyway, LG, thank you. So you've got this sweet UI here that you can. Yeah, I know it's buffering. Damn it, leave me alone. So
it's just funny.
I know
it's like the whole selling point. It's like that doesn't even work.
So that's cool. Now, the one thing, I've used the phone for exactly 5 minutes because, again, I can't get it set up. And the one thing, hey, it stopped buffering. Anyway, the one thing that's been really cool about it is the camera's gimbal mode.
Yeah.
And this is something that I hope that gets built into additional devices. So here, real quick, if I turn this around, I guess I can't in gimbal mode. Doesn't matter. Oh, gee, let me go ahead and freaking. All right. So you've got, so you've got this sweet thing, and the gimbal actually, it acts like a freaking, it acts like a freaking gimbal.
How does it do that?
Well, it's got 3 rear-facing cameras, and by using all of the sensors, it's able to just cut and stitch from the different thingies.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
It is kind of sweet. So there are different modes available to the user.
Okay.
And there's we've got a first-person view mode, we've got a pan follow mode, as well as a straight follow mode. So if you're a creator or an influencer like Kellen and I are, you can really do some cool stuff. The only problem is it's a $1,000 phone, and it's like missing some things, right? I forget all the specs. Let me go ahead and show you all.
It's a Snapdragon 765, I believe.
Right.
It's probably maybe 8 gig, 128
yes.
gigs.
I just want to make sure that it's 8 gigs. I just want to make sure I give all the right specs, because it's an interesting phone, right? It's the first entry into their Explorer program. So yeah, 6.8 inch OLED, full HD plus, 60 hertz, 4-inch OLED, another full HD display. It's 1:1, 60 hertz, 765, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gig storage, micro SD, 4,000 milliamp hour battery. the 3 rear-facing cameras, 64 megapixel primary sensor, and then 2 secondary sensors, both ultra-wide sensors. We've got Wi-Fi 5, NFC. Probably has LG Pay, but LG Pay is not supported by any major bank in the US. Like, my bank doesn't support it. So they're trying, and it's different. It's certainly different. But
is it at least running Android 10?
Yes, it is running Android 10. No telling if or when it'll get Android 11. I'm sure it will. Let's see here. I mean, gosh, it's just not a ton to say. It's a new type of device, but LG has a tendency to make phones for like the smallest niche of people.
Yeah.
You know, and so maybe that's cool for them, but it clearly wasn't made for me, because again, like, we don't go out and like shoot sweet YouTube videos. And what respectable YouTuber is going to say, I'm gonna drop my iPhone with my sweet moment lenses and just use the LG Wing because it has a built-in gimbal? Like, where these people have like the DJI gimbals or whatever, like they have pro setups. So like, what kid is like going to get into the YouTube game and ask their mom for the LG Wing for Christmas? Like, that's just, who is this phone for? It's cool,
I haven't
but
figured it out.
It's not a good phone to buy.
I keep waiting for them to tell me like who it's actually for. I was hoping you would tell me now that you've got one.
60
is the
hertz,
swivel thing at least kind of cool? Like, does it feel cool when you go flick it up?
Like, the phone feels,
doesn't feel like cheap, right? It feels cool.
No, it feels cool. And when you click it down, like, it feels good. It's a great noise. It feels good in hand. But like, then when you watch, so I'm gonna swipe it up. Yeah, I really don't want to like drop it or anything. Right. But like, there's like, you know, it takes
a little while.
It does, and that's all Android phones.
Because it's flipping
like,
to a whole new. There's your Verizon.
It's a
thing
whole
that's
new
like,
UI.
I can't connect.
I know your session has expired. What session? I never started anything because I can't connect.
Yeah, because so it flips to like a whole custom UI. Like, it's not just rotating the home screen. It's like it has to open an app, basically, right?
Yeah, it's called Swivel Home, and man, so
LG. One of my favorite things about LG is they name everything. Like, of course, it's called Swivel Home, in swivel mode, in swivel gimbal mode, in swivel selfie gimbal mode. Like, they name everything.
Yeah. Swivel Home.
I will say it looks sort of cool because you have the 2 screens and it gives you a good grip. You know, it's working. You know, if you wanted to watch a video, you could grip the bottom and still type or get on Twitter. I know it's a small screen. There's some things about it that I sort of get, but it's just so odd that, you know.
Volume sliders.
It's like some of that stuff is kind of
brightness. I mean, you know, it's a sweet UI. But again, I'd rather have, like, you know, for $1,000. There's a lot of options out there for $1,000.
There are a lot of options for $1,000.
A lot of better options.
All right, well, that should be interesting. Oh, it doesn't have a pop-up selfie?
Yes, it totally does. And like, in my unboxing, I was like, where's the front-facing camera? I had no idea. And then I finally went into the app to try and figure it out, and little pop-up. Oh, of course you can't see, but yeah, a little pop-up selfie cam there.
That's great.
Yeah, what a great. It's kind of slow though, you know, like the gear is kind of slow. If anyone has any questions, if anyone has any questions about being an influencer, please feel free to tweet at us and we'll tell you what it's like. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Too crazy.
Okay, hold on. Zachary Webb says not every phone needs to be for every consumer. We should have a variety of phones for different devices. Dude, I'm totally with you. If you're a profitable business, LG's phone business is not profitable. No, hasn't been profitable for quite some time. So when you're losing money, you need to like make a phone that people want to buy, not niche phones. Sorry.
They make a lot of those.
They had it with the V series. I don't know what happened with the V series, but It just sort of fell off. I think they started paying way too much attention to the DAC bros. DAC bros are like, I
DAC
need more
Bros, man,
DAC.
yeah.
And like then they just sort of like fell behind and their hardware got ugly. The V60 was like not great. I don't know what's going on with LG. So again, every week we tell them like hire Kellen and I or do something like bring in someone as an outside consultant at least, or make me the
Bring
president
us
of
in.
mobile.
Bring
Do
us in.
something. Tap us in, coach. Like we are ready. We'll fix your business. So we're just gonna axe projects like the Wing Explorer program. Yeah.
Well, I just wish with this, for example, this phone, I wish they would have gone all out. They made this swivel thing, but it's still a 60 hertz. It's still a Snapdragon 765, and then it's still $1,000. They didn't even go all out. I mean, they threw. I don't know. I'll be interested to hear after you've spent a little bit of time with it, assuming you can ever get it to connect to a wireless network, to see if maybe at some point like something switches and you go, okay, I get it. This is kind of cool. And I don't know if that'll happen or not, but once you've like spent some time, it'll be. I'll be interested to hear if you have that idea, because otherwise, it's like another LG phone where I'm like, all right, you did some cool stuff, but where's the big pitch? Like we talked about this with the V60. I didn't know who that phone was for at all. It was just another version of another phone. Nothing really changed. The same DAC bros, as you called them. They were excited, but no one else. Like there wasn't something, I don't know. I don't know how. I know you know how to fix LG, and they should hire you. I still keep going. I don't know how LG can turn it around, because this is different, and we're like, what the hell? But there are other phones, like Velvet was just a rebranded G9 or whatever. But they it's like they don't want to just go all in, if that makes sense. Like maybe LG needs to make a $2,000 foldable phone. I don't know. Maybe that'll get more attention. I'm not really sure.
Well, I think we started the software experience, and we started with the updates and all that, and we put more resources into supporting our customers who are actually buying our products. We're not just trying to bring in new customers, but support the ones the first we got to take care of the people who are buying our phones. So, and that starts with the software experience, at least in my opinion. But they won't hire me. They haven't like emailed me or nothing. Every year I tell them. So we'll see.
Yeah, see, as Zach said, he said the V30 and 40 were great, and then they got weird. I would agree. Like the V30, I remember that phone was awesome. And then I didn't use the V40, I don't think, but since then there was V50s, I think, and then
was
the
there
60.
a V50? I thought it
know.
went 40, then 60, maybe. I can't remember.
The smartphone market sucks. It's just to be
tough.
A winner in it is really tough. And right now everyone's selling cheap phones. And I think LG makes a bunch of cheap phones. I have no idea if they're good. We don't look at a lot of cheap phones, but
the K series and all that.
Yeah, the smartphone market is tough right now.
It's obviously not easy, or else everyone would be doing it and everyone would make a bunch of money. You just have a few players in there, and then sometimes you get lucky like OnePlus, and you kind of you blitzkrieg the market with a super cheap phone that's pretty darn good and accessible to everyone. And then you do some hypey gimmick stuff like an invite system, and kind of like builds like this little this a cult kind of following, and then it builds into something more respectable. So OnePlus got pretty lucky, and
but now OnePlus is turning into just another smartphone maker, I feel like.
Exactly, and their software kind of blows, like this whole Samsung thing they're doing. Like it's just
I feel like OnePlus really had something that could have lived for a long time, and they've gone completely away from that. And we've talked about that some, but like the AT is a great phone, but like, I think people are going to forget about it because it's just another phone. It's not. They didn't like the S20 FE really screwed everyone. Because that's all anyone wants to talk about right now is the S20 FE because of what you get for the money. Like OnePlus needed to see that and go, yeah, we need to make this phone $650. Instead, it's $750, and they kind of screwed themselves. So
yeah,
I don't know. The smartphone world is tough.
It's not easy.
It's just not easy.
Good luck, LG. I will give this phone a solid try. So next week, I'm going to work on finishing up my Pixel 4a 5G, and then I'll start using the Wing. So in the meantime, if you have any questions about the Wing, or if you're seriously interested in it, please feel free to ask me on Twitter or something. I'll be more than happy to assist you in telling you that you shouldn't buy it. I'm just kidding.
So I don't think we really have. Remember, we don't have time, but we don't really have a hot iPhone 12 talk.
Sorry,
like Tim and I didn't really pay attention to the Apple event. I know they announced a mini speaker, which who cares?
It still has a notch. Am I the only one who cares like about notches still? Like I think it's a pretty ugly device. Like maybe that's just me. Like the backside looks good.
The backside looks good. I like the new flatness to it because it's kind of a throwback to the iPhone 4. But the front, we still have 60 hertz displays and that giant ass notch. Like
and they're expensive as hell.
Yeah, $1,000 for the Pros, I think. I mean, they're really expensive. And there's a regular iPhone 12 and a mini. I mean, one positive thing out of the Apple event is we get to replace the A13 Bionic meme with Tim. It has an A14 Bionic. We get to do that now.
And Scott says courage to not include a charger. Dude, seriously.
Yeah, so that's like the actual headline that anyone wants to talk about. They announced, I think, 6 phones, and they took the charger out of the box, and that's all that anyone. This shows you kind of how snoozy I think the iPhone 12 launches. They took a charger out of the box, and that's kind of the big headline. We all have a million chargers. I don't really think it's that big a deal that they took a charger out. I know some people are really pissed. And they're like, I pay $1,000. I deserve a charger. You don't really. You don't. I've seen some people, I think, argue that it's like a margin play and it's just Apple being greedy. Do you really think there's huge margins on whether or not they include a charger or not? No.
I thought they were doing it for the planet, but then come to find out it really doesn't benefit the planet at all. So,
well, the charger thing, like, have you gone on Amazon? You can buy a charger on there for $4 and it'll fast charge your phone. Do you think like them taking it out is really changing? It's not changing their margin. It's like, stop with that crap. They said it'll help the planet, Tim. So I don't know. I don't have the calculations there, but they said they can fit more on a pallet and that's less stuff they have to send and there's less e-waste and whatever. I hope on some level it does.
Totally.
I just, as I get new phones all the time, I open the drawer of chargers that I have and I just go, yeah, I'm not even going to take that out of the box. Like my dad gets a new phone every like 2 years and he also has a drawer full of chargers. I'm assuming everyone has a drawer full of chargers.
We've someone's saying we need to review the iPhone. Like we reviewed the iPhone 6 and that's like good enough for us. I almost feel like it hasn't really changed much. They have widgets now, and that's not even like a joke. They legit have widgets now, and that's about all that's changed.
Yeah, see, I'm very the iPhone 6 I think I unboxed it, and then I think I just kind of wrote up some general thoughts on why I still didn't like it, and we haven't really touched one since. And I'm not really a fan of I'm an Android guy for life. I reviewed an iPhone. Here's what I think.
BGR takes.
Well, no, like there's a lot of Android blogs that do that, and I get it. It probably is a nice traffic boost and stuff. I just think it's pointless. iOS hasn't changed that much. The conclusions are always the same. Everyone still complains about notifications and some of the stuff. And this one should be a little bit different because iOS, I think it's 14, has widgets and then sort of an app drawer. And so things are kind of changing. But in the end, like the Android guy reviewing the iPhone is just,
it's old. Like, it's old take.
Like, put me to bed. Yeah. It's just, it's never been interesting. That could just be me. Maybe a lot of people find it very interesting to hear that Android guy thinks about the iPhone. It's just not interesting to me at all. It never has been, which is why we looked at one and that bored me to death. And it was just not fun.
Could you imagine like if an iPhone could like swivel? Like, I mean, like the world might explode. Like our phones are just more interesting to talk about, I feel like. Yeah. So
anyways. Should we trivia it up?
Yeah, man, because we already did the episode once, we're running a little late.
Yes, we are. It's trivia time. Trivia time, if you're new around here, means we're going to now run through 5 questions, one at a time. We'll put them on the screen. Tim will also read it aloud. Oh, yeah, I didn't do the trivia dance shuffle.
That's okay.
And then you just answer. If you're watching live on YouTube, in the YouTube chat, you type the answer correctly. If you're first, we will call your name out and say that you have won. And this week we're giving everyone $10 in Google Play credit. So pretty simple. We'll read it. We'll put the question up. You answer, you win $10.
Julian says LG Wing looks so snappable. Yes, like it is.
Does it
It's
feel?
very.
Are you a little nervous? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like if you drop it while it's open, you're done for. I assume the two just snap apart, but like it feels when you open it and close it like it feels good, but like it's not. I wouldn't try dropping it. Like I wish I was Jerry Rig everything, right? And I could just rip it apart and tell you, but
he's gonna totally destroy that thing.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, we see all your testing. We see all your trivia hype. We've got $10 of Google Play credit for 5 lucky winners. So some of these questions, just FYI, not easy. We got some toughies in here. So best of luck. I'm ready when you are.
Come on, man. Got time for that. Will you just say something real quick? Because I feel like my audio is just completely gone.
Oh, hey, what's up, everyone? Tim here, back again. Bluetooth.
It was like I got like a call and it messed with the audio. Anyway, I'm never wearing these headphones again. I just give up.
Cold Confession says Kellen needs to stop giving Tim his reject phones. No, I still got Jelly 2. That's not a reject phone. It's the best little 3-inch Android phone ever, man.
We've sort of settled into like Tim has certain phones that he always reviews, and I have certain ones that I do. Yeah, like he does the Notes typically, and often and almost always now
larger
LG
Galaxy S20s. Yeah,
I often.
Well, it's because LG doesn't talk to Kellen. I feel like I don't know.
They do. Well, they used to. I don't know
anymore. Motorola doesn't talk to me, so you do Motorola phones. Yeah. It's a good little thing we got going.
It is. It works.
All right. I'm ready when you are.
Question number 1 is up now.
What does the term OLED, OLED, stand for? In reference to smartphones, I should say. What does the term OLED stand for? That's a toughie. Gosh. After these, I like to maybe ask my fiance and see if she knows the answer to any of them. I think I recently asked her what LED stands for, and she didn't get it. So we're looking for, I'm seeing Brandon Johnson.
Yeah. I feel like my chat's really delayed today. Maybe in the stream settings I screwed something up.
No, they're delayed. Like,
they're like a bigger delay than normal.
Yes, big time. So organic light emitting diode, Brandon Johnson. Congratulations.
Brandon Johnson is first there. Yep.
Brandon Johnson. Woo! $10 coming your way, big boy. Ow! All right. Let's just keep it rolling. Hope everyone's ready to roll. Question number 2.
Question number 2 is up now.
Before founding OnePlus with Carl Pei, what company did Pete Lau hold a VP position at, a vice president position? Before founding OnePlus with Carl Pei, what company did Pete Lau hold a VP position at? That's almost a tongue-twisting sentence.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a weird delay because the way I had to launch the show to get it to work properly.
Well, I apologize if there's a delay, guys. But we do have a winner, and that's I'm a Leaper.
I'm a Leaper. Oppo.
Yeah. I'm a Leaper.
Both ways, by the way. I always say Oppo, but I feel like I hear people say Oppo.
Oppo for me, but
I just say Oppo. Yeah.
Oppo.
I'm a Leaper with the first there.
But then it's all capitalized, so I assume it must stand for something, but I don't know.
I always assume it does too, but I don't think it does.
Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, it's a styling thing.
It is.
Someone's saying, Tim, something is wrong. The answers are coming before the question. I'm sorry, I don't know. Maybe refresh your stream. There's like nothing we can do. I'm not going to restart the show now, and it's too late. But yeah. Good luck.
There was technical difficulties today that
we'll make it up to you. We'll make it up to you.
Hopefully they won't be here next time.
Yeah, we'll see. And if they are, we're switching to Twitch.
Yeah, switching to Twitch. That's
right. Apologies again. Question number 3, please. Let's just get this over with.
Question number 3 is up now.
What is the alphanumeric designation for the Sony-made camera sensor on the Pixel 5? So we're looking for a string of numbers followed by a string of numbers, letters, then numbers. What is the alphanumeric designation for the Sony-made camera sensor on the Pixel 5? You may have to Google this one. And I'm going to need the full thing, not just the numbers, Zach. I need the full thing.
Well, you want the full thing. All right. He's not going to hear that for 5 minutes.
Curtis, I need the full thing. Oh, Chris, you're so close. There we go. Oh, no, can't be. I'm a leaper. Chris Williams.
There's Chris Williams.
All right, Chris Williams, IMX363. Congratulations, Chris Williams. And again, apologies for the delay. That's going to be my last apology for it because it's not my problem.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Chris Williams, congratulations. You got $10. I'm ready for question number 4.
Oh, yeah, I totally have it set at normal latency. That's fine. Again, I had to force through the thing, so we're lucky it's even working at all.
We had to break down the back door of YouTube server really just to start.
We're going to Twitch. Question number 4 is up now.
What was the first Android phone to feature optical image stabilization, aka OIS, for both the front and rear camera? So again, what was the first Android phone to feature OIS for both the front and rear camera?
I forgot about this.
And there's no way anyone knows this off the top of their head. So we'll give you all a moment. There's a delay, so I'll probably also take a smoke break.
Zach Webb was ready.
Oh, geez, no smoke break. Zachary Webb, congratulations. Correct answer of HTC 10. Holy moly. Wow. That was impressive. That dude's got Google fingers.
He does.
Incredible. I'm seeing some very funky answers here. But yeah, it was HTC 10.
Yeah. HTC 10, though. That was crazy. And it was the first guess, too. Well, he obviously knew, but I mean, of all the answers.
That's impressive. He says, I knew it off the top of my head. BS. Prove it. I mean, if you're retaining that kind of information, man, all right, well, we're down to our last $10 code here of Google Play credit.
Question number 5,
please.
Is up now.
What company did NVIDIA acquire in 2011 to help integrate 4G LTE radios into its Tegra line of mobile processors? The longest question ever. What company did NVIDIA acquire in 2011 to help integrate LTE radios into its Tegra line of mobile processors?
Which they never did, right?
Well, they tried. There was the Tegra 4i.
Okay.
And it is wasn't very successful. So someone has the right answer, and I'll just tell you, it's not Texas Instruments. Hey, Luke Citroniti, congratulations with the man with the good name.
Luke Citroniti.
Isera. Yeah, I pronounce it Isera. Hopefully that's right.
I assume it's Isera, yeah.
Yeah, Isera, Luke Citroniti, congratulations.
Yeah, they that was during the early LTE wars with Qualcomm. Yep. That's when Qualcomm basically took over the world. Because NVIDIA was like, yeah, we're making processors, and they were in some phones and some tablets, and we were big. Tegra was everywhere. We talk about Tegra all the time. And then LTE came, and they were not ready. And then they tried to buy a company, Isera, to put in, and it just never worked. And then they were just screwed at that point. So it was game over. And now they make a couple chips for Nintendo, and that's about it.
Eek. Excellent. Well, so all of my winners, I'm going to need you to email me at the email. You all have won before, I think, but just in case, my email is in the chat. I'm going to need to hear from Brandon Johnson, I'm a Leaper, Chris Williams, Zachary Webb, and Luke Citroniti. Congratulations to our winners.
Congratulations, everyone.
And you know what? We apologize again for the delay. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. And if we don't figure it out,
we'll figure this out for the next show. This was just like, I had an issue with YouTube earlier, and I was hoping that we would just power through it because we have in the past, and then it clearly screwed up. And then we had to launch straight live, and the latency, I just want this week to be over, to be honest.
Tell me about it.
It's almost beer time. I think it is.
It's beer o'clock in someplace.
It really needs to be. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah.
Pixel 5 and 4 A5G reviews will be up in the next several days. The AT reviews up at the site if you want to read that. Tim will have LG Wing coverage eventually. And I don't know, we're just kind of cruising through the rest of the year, but we will still do shows, that's for sure.
We'll still do shows. Plenty of good stuff coming up. LG Wing. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Shout out to
Black
Andy,
Friday.
Sergey, Mystical Melissa, Scott, Sarah, all those donations earlier. Appreciate those as well. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. Stay safe.
Mask up.
Mask up.
Peace.